Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. It is me, Dukect, here live on the Dukect Lounge this Thursday evening on this after the craziness that was the Delete to Decay, and I will be getting to that in a minute. I want to see how y'all folks are doing. How y'all doing this great evening? I'm doing well. The 1,000 subscriber video is basically almost done. Just got to do a little more tweaks to it, and it'll be finished. Hopefully will get this up tonight, and after that, I will probably gonna try to get this up tonight. And after that, I'm gonna get the. I'll put the podcast up first, then I will finish the review, and then I will get back to my next one, which is going to be SummerSlam this year. And I got tons of things to say about that disappointing show. But you know what? What wasn't disappointing? Impact tonight. Besides the very good promo with Bobby Lashley and his beatdown of EC3 afterwards, seriously, Bobby Lashley once again proving that he's better booked and more interesting as a champion than anyone on wrestling, better than Ambrose, better than Kevin Owens, it's been there a week, better than Adam Cole, better than most of them because he's interesting. He's actually looks like a wrestler, and looks like he can kill you. And honestly, heck, he's moving. I mean, heck, the only two people who look interesting are Shinsuke Nakamura to me and TNA World Champion. Shinsuke Nakamura, the NXT champion, and the TNA World Championship, Bobby Lashley. Both guys just, to me, just greatness, But, not only that, you had a pretty good grand tourney match. You have Aaron. I think that's going to be the last match. Hopefully they'll throw away the rules and have to just go at it in town for the new title. I would like to see Aaron Rex versus Drew Galloway, maybe in a gimmick match, because that match has some heat to it. I don't think a regular match or a lockup is going to really solve this. I think a match like that needs like a nice little stipulation. Yeah, something like that, because these two guys really want to just brutalize each other. So, yeah. And also, Delete to Decay. Well, that was a big thing as well. Oh, man. What a... Whew! I didn't think it was possible to top the Final Deletion, but they actually did. And in some parts, they actually did. Everyone it was expansion. And this was more, how do you say, more horror themed, since Decay is more of a, horror themed type of menace than what Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy were. I mean, this was the whole thing about Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy. Was more of a personal rivalry, more, something like that, more closer. But this was more of like an external threat. They were trying. Decay was trying to kidnap King Maxwell, but this time you had the build up to it. You had basically Matt Hardy, seriously. That to me, Matt Hardy is basically, I would say, comeback wrestler of the year, best wrestler of the year, like Observer Awards, anyone. This dude is he deserves it. He deserves that type of award because he has reinvented himself. He is interesting. He is more interesting than most of the people on the roster right now, and trust on the WWE roster. He's outshining everyone. Heck, I mean, TNA's been doing pretty good with the candidates as well, but this is actually really good stuff here, and I have to give props to them. I have to give props because they know what to do. They are just so, just great. Matt Hardy, he just goes all in and goes crazy. I like the fact that he was doing all this stuff with the giraffe, the boxing kangaroo, talking to the monkeys with the X Division. Really good stuff. And honestly, the build up to a Decay basically beating the crap out of dude and stealing his truck, even though I thought they actually had a car when they killed Bram off. Which, by the way, what happened to Bram? Is he dead? Oh, maybe he's tied up. What happened with what happened to Senor Benjamin and Vanguard One? Maybe all three just tied up somewhere. But I don't know. Who cares? But we'll get to that. That's a way too far up. But yeah, they beat him out, take his pants as well, which I don't know why. And they just took his car and they drove to Cameron. And now they're going to fight Decay. Matt Hardy, they lured them in. Like, Decay, Decay, I knew you come. And then just suckered them then into, a fireworks. If they flanked them with fireworks. And then after they flanked them with fireworks, you had, them running away. And then meanwhile, you had, the whole Hardy family just shooting with fireworks. Then you had Abyss hiding behind Sarsgaard, and then he getting knocked out. And then you have, Senor Benjamin coming in, dragging the boat into the mainland and such. And he's like, and then all of a sudden we see Joseph Park just walking around. And I'm like, the best, seriously. I was like, Joseph Park, and he was talking to Senor Benjamin, speaking a little bit of Spanish, and then he got tased. Probably with the same taser that took out Willow. And then he knocked him out, and then he just said, ha, and just laughed, and then just pretty much used a small bulldozer and just buried him in the shallow graves that Senor Benjamin was using for Decay. But that did not happen as Abyss awoken, and he took out Senor Benjamin. Then you had Jeff Hardy and Crazy Steve fighting around the pool area, and then the pool, boom! Jeff Hardy takes him down, puts him in the pool, and it looks like it was over. He choked him out in the pool. It looked like it was over. Then Crazy Steve climbed back in, started choking him out, and started beating him down as well. Beating him in the back and choking him out with a pool toy, and he's like, and then he repaints himself, says regenerating paint. And like this, he's like just going way over the top, and I'm loving this. It was amazing, ladies and gentlemen, amazing. Just everything was just focused and connected, and I just loved every second of it. You can tell. You can actually tell that I'm actually happy. I actually like this show. You had not only that, you had the Decay. Basically, you had Janice. Abyss had Janice. He took him out, and as Matt Hardy was chasing down Rosemary, and then you had Abyss say, "Go and get the child." Trying to steal King Maxwell again. They were trying to take King Maxwell, but looked like Matt Hardy basically said, "Yeah, look at Abyss," and Janice says, "Like Janice, I ain't like nah, man." Like Janice, like he's still like he is not afraid of him, and then Brother Nero came in, pushed Matt away, and took the full blood of Janice, and it looked like it was so unselfish. But then it looked like it was all over. But then Vanguard 1 came in with an aerial assault with fireworks, just taking out everything, and then laying fire around it. I have a whole Hardy symbol looking straight out of like Batman Dark Knight Rises, but actually a lot more cooler. And this whole symbol was big, bright, on fire, and it looked like on the meanwhile the Abyss and Crazy Steve was trapped in there, and meanwhile you had Rosemary took out Rebby, and then took King Maxwell. Looked like they were going to get that thing, but then Vanguard 1 stopped Rosemary in the tracks, but then he made the ultimate sacrifice as Rosemary sprayed her mist and took out Vanguard 1. Then Matt Hardy came back and said, "You have crossed the line that you could never come back from." And then she spit out her mist, and then Matt Hardy I don't know how he did it. Just next video, just revert, rewind tricks, but I don't care. He sucked up the mist, and he's and then spat the mist, and then go up and spat the mist back at Rosemary. And it's just like I had to leave and ran. And it looked like they saved King Maxwell and everything else. It looked like everyone is back to normal. But then, at the end of it, Senor Benjamin and Vanguard 1 are been kidnapped, shanghaied by Decay. What will happen next week? What will happen? What will be the aftermath of this? How will this tie into Bound for Glory? As again, the Hardys are no one contenders for those tag team titles. Will Senor Benjamin be on the line? Who knows? Or will Decay have some tricks in store for the Broken Brothers? Like I said, everything, I really enjoyed it. If you haven't seen the Decay yet, you should. First off, you gotta watch Final Deletion. That was great, hilarious, and fun. And quite honestly, it was actually a bit better than the Final Deletion. And it has a continuing story. There was actually resolution here. Not only resolution, but also a continuation that will have something will end at Bound for Glory. Other than the whole fake Final Deletion BS over at WWE, where they had the Wyatt family compound, they're trying so hard to do the grindhouse thing, but overproduced, oversaturated, just all that other stuff. It really did not look good at all. It wasn't a good look. Oh, by the way, watching the game. And Cam Newton failed. Cam Newton did not get the first down, and now Denver gets a chance to do something with it. Hopefully. Oh, yes, I'm muting the game, because if there was even a chance of having the NFL play over this, the DMCAs will be coming all quickly. Besides, it will mess up the whole flow of the show, and I'm trying to, make a, I'm trying, you know what I'm doing here, ladies and gentlemen, just make it personal, interpersonal with us, making just me, you, callers, and all the stuff. And by the way, if you want to call into the show, talk, and disagree about the Final Deletion or Delete and Decay, remember the phone number for the Thursday night show is 724-444-7444. Once again, the number is 724-444-7444. And the call ID to connect to me, Dukect, is 92417. Once again, the call ID is 92417. Let me tell you, like I said, it interests me. The show interests me from beginning to end, and I really enjoyed that. So, props to that. We're going to take a small little break, and we're going to get to other things as well. As we're going to be talking about Paige leaving being gone from WWE. We're now also be reviewing Lucha Underground. Yes, I'm going to be talking Lucha Underground, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be talking about that, the season 3 premiere. That I really can't go back. And week 9 of the WWE CWC, the Cruiserweight Classic. I'll be getting to that more after this little commercial. This is not commercial, but you know what I mean. A musical break. Let's see what music I'm going to be playing. So let's see. How about this? Super Mario World. Bowser is Champion by BXM Music. It's OC remix, and hopefully you go up to their website. They make great stuff. You can find it on YouTube. Just basically put OC remix on YouTube. You'll find it, and you will find great songs. Go to their website as well. They make great music. Anyway, we're going to take a small little musical break. We're going to play this little song, little ditty, and we'll be right back right after this. And we are back here live on the Dukect Lounge. Thank you so much for joining me here on TalkShoe.com and on YouTube, or on iTunes, and any other place I can put this on the Freaking Awesome Network website, and ManicExpression.com. So, okay. Let's see. Well, there's rumors here that Paige, WWE diva, former WWE NXT Women's Champion, former WWE Divas Champion, multiple time Divas Champion, Sarah J. Belvis, aka Paige, has basically, let's see, she was not just suspended. She was suspended for 30 days after violating the company's wellness policy. But she is, let's see, she was a WWE two-time Divas Champion. She was the NXT Women's Champion. She also won the NXT Women's Championship tournament as well. And she also won the worst feud of the year with Team PCB versus Team Bad versus Team Bella, the Divas Revolution. But yeah, she was, she had some issues. Supposedly her and her boyfriend Del Rio, and some people say that there was being much a bad influence, and about some extracurricular activities of her and Del Rio and such. But now with this whole supposedly rumored of basically saying if you don't dump Del Rio, you're going to be fired. That was the supposedly rumor that came out with this. But then this situation happened. Is not only she's only 23 and around 24 years old, by the way. Paige is not only leaving, basically she's hired legal representation. She hired lawyers for this whole proceeding. And all I have to say for this situation is that supposedly last week it was WWE's Mark Carrano. He was, probably a big deal at WWE Total Divas as the talent director or something like that. Let me see. Before I get this, let me look at this. Let's see. He is the office liaison. A very big thing with WWE. Very high up in the WWE talent. Plays Mark Carrano. Let's see. What is his official role in the company? Let's see. Yes. Google can be my friend. All right. Head of talent relations. Yeah, he is the head of talent relations. And supposedly he approached Paige and threatened to fire her unless she broke up with Alberto Del Rio, a wrestler that is on SmackDown that's also serving a 30-day suspension. Alberto Del Rio, who is supposedly going to be speaking on aka Jose Alberto Rodriguez, he is expected to be to speak out on his current future in wrestling right now. He's going to, let's see, from Heavy.com. See again, both Heavy.com, but also WrestleZone. Let's see, at WrestleZone.com. According to SuperLuchas.net, Alberto Del Rio has invited Mexican media to a press conference being held tomorrow in Mexico City. He will speak about his WWE future and current day 30-day wellness policy. And I wonder how much he's going to be talking about Paige in that situation. It seems like WWE and Alberto Del Rio has never really worked out it's amazing because the dude is an incredible talent, but well, some things you just can't get. You just can't. Some things they just can't mix. And funny enough, when he became in the Indies and such, he got Alberto El Patreon. He was a lot more connected with the audience. People loved him. And he had a run in Lucha Underground, which I will get into later. The show, by the way, not his run of Lucha Underground. I haven't watched that yet. But I heard he had really good things there. But he went back to WWE because he had a huge paycheck and such. And since then, the WWE hasn't done much with him. They have done absolutely nothing with Alberto Del Rio. Other than beating John Cena when he came back and he won the U.S. title, but he hasn't done anything since then. He's just been floating around, and that's the problem with Del Rio. He's just been floating around. Same thing with Sheamus for the most part. They have Sheamus, and then you have Alberto Del Rio, both guys who have done everything under the sun in the WWE. But to the layman, they're like, oh yeah, they're just they're not even recognized. They've accomplished more than Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Sergeant Slaughter, $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase, Randy Savage, and the list of Hall of Famers and people who are more memorable. Hell, they've accomplished more than the Ultimate Warrior. But yet, those guys, previous guys mentioned, are more recognizable people, more appreciated people. They are more connected to them, anyone in the modern era. You could say that people had connections, people out there, the people had connections to all these. There's no one in the roster right now that people barely have connection to. Other than John Cena, but he got his foot out the door. Who else can they connect to? Kevin Owens? Sami Zayn? No, there's no one out there that WWE fans can connect to. But that's just another thing right there. It's another topic I kind of maybe get like another guest up here and talk about it. Y'all want to hear that? I gotta get some people up here to talk about that. But yeah, Paige is looking like to really go against. She's probably gonna quit. And I think she's gonna probably be in TNA. And quite honestly, I honestly think Alberto Del Rio and Paige would be more interesting than Maria and Miracle. In fact, best thing they could do first night is they just beat the hell out of them and they take their places. And I think I would believe them over what they're doing and their Miracle. Alberto Del Rio, you can believe that dude knows what he's. He actually can bring the heat. But yeah, and connection to the audience if he's actually passionate and knows that they know what they're doing. So I wouldn't be surprised at TNA. Alberto Del Rio has burned some bridges with the way he's with AAA and Lucha Underground and all these type of people. He has burned some bridges. I think he will probably go to WWE. He will go to TNA or maybe even Ring of Honor again. Who knows? Let's see what else. But yeah, Paige, I think she will go to TNA, and probably I don't know if this lawsuit is going to do anything. And if she's pretty much done, she has a contract to work with WWE till 2019. She's contracted to work to WWE till 2019. And unless she actually has some good evidence about the whole, harassment, you're not going to, unless they have any type of deal, and I'll put the link in the description, and you have any proof about this, audio, video proof, and it's just going to be he said, she said, no. You're done, and they're gonna probably bury you, and they're not gonna even put you on TV. WWE's that vindictive to sit your ass home, and you will be forgotten in 2 or 3 years. But then again, Paige is still young. She's like 23, so at the end of the day, she'll be fine, and I think she can use this to heal herself up. Hopefully, get herself mentally right, physically right, And if she wants to join the TNA roster soon, or Ring of Honor, they're doing something with the Women's of Honor, and other type of, any other type of, company wants to hire her, they should. But that's just my personal opinion. I could be wrong. I could be allowed wrong. But yeah, that's why I see it going. Anyway, man, we're blowing through these things. Okay, next up, we'll be finally talking about Lucha Underground. We'll talk about the everything about Lucha Underground and all the crazy stuff was happening there. And also I will review the latest in week 9 of the Cruiserweight Classic over in WWE Network. We're right back right after this, and we're going to be playing. Let's see, what would be a good song to play? I need something good, something at high octane, daddy. We got to do something high octane. Let's see. Let's look at some. Let's see. Let's see. So how about this? Ninja. How about something from? Let's see. Shell Shocked. Yes, we're gonna listen to that, ladies and gentlemen. Something from that for the OC remix. We're gonna listen to that. We're going to listen to a little bit of. How about some Running with the Shredder? It's the Ergo Sonic. Let's see. We're gonna listen to that. We're gonna listen to this nice OC remix music. We're gonna listen to that. Hopefully you enjoy it here live on the Dukect Lounge on TalkShoe.com. Anyway, after that, I will be reviewing not only Lucha Underground, but also the WWE Cruiserweight Classic and my thoughts about everything on there. We'll be right back right after this. And we are back live here on TalkShoe.com. Thank you so much for joining me here on the Dukect Lounge. Thank you so much. Phone number to connect to me, Dukect, is 724-444-7444. Once again, the number to connect to me on the live show on Thursday nights is 724-444-7444. And the call ID to connect to me, Dukect, is 92417. Once again, call ID is 92417. Oh, by the way, once the storyline is pretty much done of the whole Delete Decay thing, I will do a huge massive video on it. That's why I haven't done videos on that stuff yet. I will do a whole review of the entire thing because I want to have the storyline and see how all of it ends. Because, hey, that's how I want to do. So I'll wait for the Claire Lynn saga, how that ended. So, yeah. But anyway, I'm going to talk some positive stuff. Let's talk a little about Lucha Underground Season 3. And wow, what a premiere, ladies and gentlemen. What a premiere. What a premiere. You had a nice cameo from the Honky Tonk Man getting Daryl Credo out of the joint. Walking in and everything else. And he's like, walked out. So... yeah. And everything else. And he has a boss. A very powerful boss. And looking something out of like a Spanish version of Dr. Doom. Someone that he don't want to F with. So, yeah, that's something I can't wait to see. Anyway, he comes back. And you have Vampiro and Matt Striker, who are pretty good. I like them. Sure, can be a little bit overbearing sometimes, but then that's what Matt Striker is for the most part. He's a little overbearing, but he's very excitable. So, I mean, when he tones it down, he needs to tone it down a bit. But anyway, he talks about so you still have Matanza as your Lucha Underground heavyweight champion, and they actually introduced a wheel, the wheel of death, pretty much. He introduced this big wheel of death, saying whoever wins this wheel, will get a title shot against his brother. If you could, it was random and such, and it was Son of Havoc taking on Matanza, and it was a pretty fun, exciting match. Son of Havoc hit Matanza with moves, and it looked like he was about to win, and something would have been interesting. But yet, guess what? Matanza proved that he was a monster, and he laid out Son of Havoc in a pretty good match, very fun match. Got the crowd excited and loving it. Got loving about this whole thing. Next up, you had you're gonna have the nice couple of good segments of what is going on with Lucha Underground. I gotta say, even though it's not in HD, I don't get the HD version. Verizon gave me El Rey. I couldn't get the HD version. Come on, Verizon. Come on, man. Hook a brother up. I need the HD version, man. We did see the Worldwide Underground, this new group that Johnny Mundo, formerly Johnny Nitro, formerly many things. Let's see, John Morrison over at WWE, but he's made some good things by himself. Former Trios champion, and well, they failed because they failed with their partner. Well, guess what? They took care of him, all right. They beat him. They beat that one dude up, and he hit him over and over and broke his leg. And I like the fact it was the way it was shot. They didn't do any shaky can stuff. They did a little bit of it, but most part it was straight up, and they just zoomed out, and they just had boom, boom, hurt that leg of with the car, setting that up probably later for him revenging, and everyone's laughing, and he's like, that was a great story, man. I was great by not giving you a wattage on it. And he says, okay, how about Gift of the Gods? Every time he chewed him out and said, you're going to have this. You got all the guys are losers except for the woman they hang. Let me get this. I am such a I'm trying so hard to be professional, and I can't even know the name. I know Sexy Star's the Gift of God champion. Let's see. All right. Yes. It was the Wheel of Misfortune. Yes. Yes. All right. It was Taya. Trying against the Gift of the God. Exactly. It was Angelico. They basically just murked the dude, by the way, Mundo's car and everything else. But Mundo wants the shot at the Gift of the Gods, saying that no to the option, but yet they lost Underground, lost the Ultra Dos. Kyoto eventually decides to say, Taya versus Sexo, you didn't. So Taya and Sexo for the Gift of Gods tonight. In the arena, Eva Lise is in the ring, calls out Katrina for what she did to her at Lucha Dos. She wants to badly face Katrina for what at Ultima Lucha Tres. And then she accepts the match. I guess Katrina's like, you want the match at Ultima Lucha Tres? You're going to get it. We don't know when it's going to happen, but it looks like that match, that looks like for a long build, ladies and gentlemen. Evil Lise really wants that Ultima Lucha win. So that's interesting. So yeah, Gift of the Gods match. This was... And funny thing is, Matt Striker mentions on commentary that Gift of the Gods title has never had a successful. The person who holds the Gift of the Gods title, has never had a successful defense. So, Sexy Star being the first female lucha wrestler to hold that championship, usually a male championship, but hey, that's a little bit of progressive stuff. So, 2 women fighting for a championship like that, and it was pretty much a good match, a little mat wrestling and such, a little slow in the beginning, but it got better. But I don't think this is the best work. I hope I see Sexy Star in a better match soon. It was average, but in the end, Lucha Underground tried to intervene, but they interfered and it failed. And then Star rolls up Tyler for the win, hold it for a little too long. But I was like, yeah, she won, but she needs to get out of there. But yet, the entire Underground, the Worldwide Underground, came in and attacked the attack poor Star, beat her up, actually showing them. I mean, the guys, they actually beat her up too. They don't care. It's not WWE like, oh, you can't hurt a woman. No, they actually came in and started beating the crap out of her. And then the trios champs, the current champs, Aerostar, Drago, and Phoenix came to her rescue. So yeah, I think that's enough for a few later. And then you have Marty the Moth, and now is in Daryl Krato's office. And he says he wants to take over wants to conquer the temple. And Marty's like, you have to be ready for war. And Kratos tells Marty that he needs to face the man he stole the dog tags from, Killshot. And he says weapons of mass destruction match between Moth and Killshot next week. And this looks like it's going to be something really, really bloody, violent, and all weapons. So this might be something crazy. So Lucha Underground always has something crazy. So anyway, you have the main event. You have Rey Mysterio Jr. Wearing his first ever lucha mask he wore to the ring, and taking on Pentagon Dark, a former mentor of Vampiro, former student of Vampiro. Very interesting. So this is very fun, very quick time. It's a really good and high-fast Lucha Libre matchup. I really like Pentagon Dark's new look. He looks very good. The crowd was really, they really cared about Pentagon Dark, and I was really impressed by him. This is my first time seeing a full match from Pentagon Dark. Really impressed by him. And Rey Mysterio looks really good here. Seriously, he looks a lot crisper here. And he hits the 619 and hits a sunset flip power driver, aka the Canadian Destroyer, and wins against Pentagon Dark. But yet the Pentagon Dark lays him out behind. Looks like he was going to break his arm. But then the Dragon Azteca comes out to save Rey Mysterio Jr. and runs off Pentagon. And Ateza had his arm broken by Pentagon. That's his thing, by the way. Pentagon does this, breaks arms for his master or for his god or whatever. That's what he does, and well, he breaks people's arms, and it's pretty interesting. And hopefully, I get to see that during the season. So yeah. Oh, and by the way, during the match, Vampiro couldn't see his mentor, couldn't see his former young protege, in the ring. He said he's gotta leave, and then meanwhile, and after he left, you see Prince Puma sitting down backstage, and a concerned look in his face, and he sees the visions of him losing to Rey Jr. at the season finale, Ultra Lucha Dos. And Vampiro appears to tell Puma that, I know how you feel. You're lost. That you might need some guidance. And Puma's like, no, I don't need your help. And Vamp actually says, gives some advice saying that he hasn't been the same after he lost to Mil Muertes. He did not, after he lost to Mil Muertes, he lost his gumption, his fire, his true essence after losing to Mil Muertes for the championship. And he says, if you have to come back to where you were, you need to take out Mil Muertes once and for all. And he says, well, and in fact, Puma has not been the same since he lost his mentor Conan, too, as well. So he says, Vamp's like, it ain't about him. Well, I'm surprised I didn't talk about taking out Pentagon Dark. He says, no, it's ain't about him. It's about you. And he's like, maybe this is the only way to do it. I must fight Mil Muertes again. And if he can beat him, maybe then he can go and face Rey Mysterio Jr. and then actually beating Rey Mysterio Jr., the king of Lucha. Maybe then he could finally stand up to Matanza and win back the Lucha Underground Championship. Overall, this was a pretty fun premiere, and I can't wait to see what happens next week as the Weapons of Mass Destruction match with the Marty the Mall versus Killshot. Looks very interesting. So, who knows without that, and the many other storylines that we'll do so there. So, that looks fun. Speaking of that stuff, let's get into the WWE CWC. I watched it, and I actually watched it today, actually. And I'm going to say this right now. This was a very good, nice little, before the season finale of it. Of these, like, not only that, you have new interviews. So the first two quarterfinals, you had Jack Sabre Jr., Noam Dar, TJ Perkins, and Rich Swann. Really good interviews. Really get some backstory about these guys, how they're far in the match. I really wish they would have continued that, had this earlier, after the first round and second round. Guys like that, that would have really impressed. That would have really been something really flesh out, which was really needed. But this was actually good. By the way, talking about matches, this was really good. Noam Dar and Jack Sabre Jr. I think this is Noam Dar's best match. And Jack Sabre Jr., I gotta say this. He does not. I'm still not on the Jack Sabre Jr. bandwagon. He did show emotion here, but there are sometimes he just looks so. Honestly, he looks so much like he just didn't care or not passionate. Hell, I would say he has a derp face, but like like Eli Manning. But yeah, Eli Manning has at least some passion. I mean, he needs to be passionate. Zack Sabre just doesn't seem passionate. It just seems to be not to have any type of emotion. No real fire to him. I don't know. And this told a good story. It had a very great mat wrestling. I really loved the mat wrestling. But yet, Zack Sabre Jr. was worked on the leg. Majority of the match with Noam Dar doing the leg. Just doing really good stuff on the leg. And then the submission, which was a very cool submission, he tried to do the ring to sound. He actually had to do something to ring to sound with his legs, crushing Noam Dar. I'm like, that's a cool move, but your leg, you were selling your leg the entire time. If it was like a leg draw or something like that, or just a pin, something of a really good pinfall, that would have been more impressive. And both guys really looked like they went through a war of arms, legs. Everyone's just there, just really just going at it. And I'm like, I want to like Zack Sabre Jr., but at the end of the day, he is the. Right now, he still is the pinnacle definition of this vanilla midget, of the stereotype of like what Kevin Nash talked about, the vanilla midgets wrestling. He is. That's what Jack Sabre Jr. Just represents and such. He's like, God dang, you should be a lot better. But then you have Rich Swann versus TJ Perkins, a far better match. This was a lot of selling, which to me, I was shocked. I was like, well, they're selling in this match? They're actually selling the injuries and actually showing there's actually consequences to the high risk, movesets they do. I was in shock. I mean, Rich Swann with his leg selling was great. I gotta say, I was really concerned. It looked like he was really hurt. And not only that, but it really impaired how he couldn't really do any of these big moves. He had to do a lot more ground based. It was really good, like really good. It just really had some really good stuff here. Same with TJ Perkins saying he couldn't really. Sorry, that was my cat running into the. God dang it! Oh, there's my cat again, trying to chasing water, just chasing flies. Stop that. But anyway, TJ Perkins, Richmond was great. The chemistry was great. The pacing, the action, everything felt natural. And you just see them just really. I would just say this was probably one of the best stuff out here. With Rich Ron again selling his leg after a missed moonsault. And just really looks really good. And you have some really good counters. I love the counter to the Tiger Driver and the Springboard Hurricane Run, all this type of stuff. But you saw it was hurting Rich Straw to do these things. He couldn't get he could not get the high up type of flying he usually does. But now, and Perkins took advantage of that, and he tapped and he hit a Pele kick and a leg lock, and Swan tried to do his best, but in the end he tapped out. And TJ Perkins went in and hugged him and said, "You okay?" Try to just really show that he really cared for his friend in this tournament and such. Even though there was no real mention of it. Seriously, Nolan Dar, same thing with Nolan Dar and Zack Simpson. Oh, they trained together. I'm like, what? Couldn't y'all talk about this? I really would like to see some interviews about this. Say, yeah, he's a friend of mine and everything else, but this should have been something more. This should have been something. This should have been something more concrete. Should have been actually like, oh my gosh, this is something huge. This is something, these two really have that connection or something. That sort of thing. That would actually work. Show the all these type of stuff. Instead, it's just they tell us. It's like they told us, but they showed us later. I don't know what the term is. The term is show don't tell, but they technically didn't show, but they showed at the end and all this other stuff, but they told us, though. It's an odd thing, but hopefully next week when they have their live finale, their 2 hours of who was the last 4 guys into it, I can't wait to see what's going to happen there. I am very pumped for it, and I can't wait to see the penultimate. I'm hopeful that Jack Sabre Jr. does not win the whole thing. I'm pissed off. Jack Gallagher should have been the one. Should have been the Brit who won the whole. Should have been here. Because Jack Gallagher actually has charisma and actually people care for him. I don't care for Jack Sabre Jr. I don't like him. He has no real charisma or anything else. He is at best, he is a technical spot monkey. That's what Jack Sabre Jr. is. He can hit the big spots, but they don't know why he does it. He doesn't show any emotion. He doesn't show anything connection to the crowd. And until he does show connection to that crowd or anything at all, he's just basically, I just don't care at that point. It's a shame because I really do like his style and I want him to do well. I want him to do well in the WWE, if not in the Indies as well. He needs to get some characters. He needs to get someone to care for him other than, oh my gosh, he's a great wrestler. That's just my personal opinion. I know I'll probably get hate for that as well. But who cares? But I just want to hear you guys listen and I just want to hear you guys debate. And that's pretty much the show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for listening. Well, it was a beefer of a show. But hopefully I'll cut some things down. It'll be more manageable. And remember, I'll put the stuff on iTunes, Man Expression, YouTube, Freaking Awesome Network. It's going to be there, so no worries, ladies and gentlemen. This show will be up for you. Hopefully by, I'm going to put this show up. Then I'm going to put the show up. I'm going to also finish out the 1,000 episode. I will hopefully have this show up tonight. And afterwards, I will have this show, hopefully have the episode up as well. Thank you so much for listening. This is Duke CT here. Peace, love. I'll see y'all when I see y'all later.